Okay, I have pressed the button. Hello and welcome to Tiefling Escape, a lovely little one-shot.
Buttons!
My name is Crash. Tonight I am joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Beth, Io, Jen, Ellie, and I will not be your DM for the evening.
Right, because I'm taking over. Yeah. So,
Coo!
All right, so I'm gonna be DMing for the first time this, baby tiefling escape thing, and this is not my creation. This is from Sean McGuire's Tumblr. Is where I'm getting this from, so I want to credit the person that made it up.
I don't think she's the one who made it up. It was just she reblogged it.
Okay, and then somebody made it up, but this is where we found it. And
several people made it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're making it up now.
I guess we're making it up now. Okay, so for
she's lesbian on Tumblr.
Okay, there we are. All right, so the player roles, just so people listening in can understand, you are all tiefling toddlers, each pick a different subrace. All your stats are 10, then apply your racial boosts. You have 4 hit points, 5 if you have the constitution boost. If you reach 0, you are unconscious, so we don't have any toddler deaths in this, okay? Your only abilities are your racial traits. You have broken out of the orphanage with no money and seek a treasure trove of candy from the store. How you retrieve this candy without being apprehended is up to you. So this is the main concept of this. There's a whole bunch of different things that can happen. Within the candy store, there are gumballs, there are lollipops, and there are chocolates, and they do different things. And we'll get into that as we go on. So, do you want to start breaking out of the orphanage, or do you want to start having done that?
I am agnostic, but as someone who has played in games, the more obstacles you put into our self-obstacle coursing way, the longer it will take, and
okay.
That is something the GM should think of.
Okay, so based on that, you've already broken out of the orphanage by and you have made your way to the candy store that is not exactly across the street from the orphanage, but close enough, in the little village that you're in. And you cannot read, but it is called Cooper's Candies. It is a family-owned shop. And
we don't need to read. All the candies are in the front window. Who can break the glass?
There you go.
Also, just a point of order. I don't know if this is canon, but I really love the idea that there was a cat door in front of the orphanage, and we crawled out of it. So thank you, Beth, for putting that in the chat.
It's for the orphanage cat.
Yeah.
Yes, who is very mean and doesn't like babies. I have scratches all over my arms.
Oh, no.
That's because you don't have a tail.
I do have a tail.
Mine has fur. It's better.
I didn't.
I pulled his tail.
I hit the door.
And he hit me.
Okay, you hit the door. This is something the shopkeep could possibly hear. It's early in the morning, and they are... go ahead.
I make an illusion. I make an illusion of one of the adults, except they're taller than 5 feet tall, so I sort of shrunk them down, and this is a baby's idea of what they look like, so...
Okay.
Oh, may I make a suggestion? And don't do this if there's any reason why you wouldn't like this, but I'm thinking we're all babies. We're very short. So the illusion just stops at the 5-foot mark because we can't see that high anyway.
That'll work. You have a minor illusion. Okay.
There may be a minor illusion of a tiefling adventurer that goes up to, like, the chin.
This is horrible and glorious.
This is great.
I'm going to cast Ray of Frost on the ground right in front of the door also, by the way.
You forgot the hat.
Oh, Ray of Frost on the ground. Okay. In front of the door? All right, sure. You can do that. Yeah, okay. So, one of you, I think, let's see, what's the name? Agzori? Does that sound right? You're the one.
Orizori.
Orizori. Okay, got it. So you pounded on the door, and in a little bit after that, you can hear someone trying to turn the doorknob from the inside. And they open the door and look out, and at first they don't see anyone. This is the assistant to the shop.
I run inside.
Don't they see a illusion of a tiefling adventurer that stops at the chin?
They're standing still. They're kind of confused by what am I looking at. They're kind of distracted by the illusion at the moment, so they're not really paying attention to anything else right now. This
It's the horseless, headless horseman.
Yeah. So this is the worker is a teenage half elf who mostly cleans the shop. Just kind of a little. That kind of thing. And, does
the doors open? Run in.
The doors open, so you have your opportunity to run in or toddle in or whatever you want to do. That to get
Toddle, crawl.
Yeah,
toddle, fall over.
Somebody across the ice.
What?
I shoved somebody across the ice.
Oh, okay.
Whee!
Does the illusion stay in the doorway or by the door, or does it come in? I don't know how this works, and the shopkeep's worker doesn't know either.
Well, presumably I've been using my action to keep the illusion going.
Okay, so at this point, the worker assumes that this person is just like wearing a big hat or something and just doesn't want to come in. So she leaves the door open and goes back to sweeping the floor.
I'm gonna try to run in, which is probably going to make the illusion go poof.
Baby invasion!
Well, the worker's not looking at the door anymore, so she's sweeping the floor and dusting some of the shelves.
Success!
I'm going to walk in like I belong there, not because I'm trying to do deception, but because I think I belong there.
Okay, fair enough.
Crawling in with fluffy high because it is a good tail. And also now probably looks like a cat out of the corner of people's eyes, but, that happens.
Okay. At this point, the shopkeeper comes out of the back room with a box full of different jars of different types of candy and starts sticking them on some of the taller, some of the higher shelves, because this is like the really good stuff, so it's on the highest shelf, and just notices
Is there a
all
table
at once
hide?
That
Table to hide under?
There's a counter. There's a counter with like a cash register type thing, whatever that would be in D&D.
Hide!
On it. Yeah, you can do that. You can hide under there if you want to. Because the shopkeeper is not there. He's walking over and like putting the really good candy on the top shelf.
Okay, but
right
question,
now. But there are
how
candies
far
on lower
apart are these
shelves.
shelves? Are they climbable?
Oh, they're climbable. The jar's about the size of like, I don't know, a large jar of spaghetti sauce or something, So you need a little more room so you can pull those out of the shelf if you were an adult trying to get into them. But they're about that height plus a little. So you could try to climb them if you want to.
Oh, it would be a horrible idea. That Crash would never do. But a baby tiefling with an extra hit point, because the tiefling has that background that gives you an extra hit point.
Right. Mm-hmm.
By the rules of this one shot, at least.
Right.
Would think that the good candy's at the top.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that's going to be some type of athletics or acrobatics check.
Probably, yeah.
Which for me would be the same roll, because stats of 10.
Right, stats of 10. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, I rolled 100% better than Ellie did. I want everyone to notice this.
You have rolled.
Notice how well I rolled.
It's a 2. Oh, and I'm going to say
I'm willing to
are...
bet I got at least one of my feet off the ground.
I could see that. And I'm going to say there's 4 shelves. There's one on the bottom that's mostly got boxes that can be refilled if we get another shipment, to like store things. They may or may not be empty. And then there's like 3 other shelves, so the good stuff's on the top shelf.
How high up is the cash register?
Well, the shopkeep is a human, so the counter would come up to about I don't know, maybe up like you'd see in a typical store today, like where it's like You can see part of the person over the top. So if he's like, I don't know, average human, 5 foot something towards 6, then it's like, it's enough you could fit under it pretty easily.
Is there a stool?
There is not a stool because the both the worker and the shopkeep end up moving around all day while they're working, so they don't really have a reason to sit down or time to sit down.
Is there a way to get to the cash register? Because you need money to buy candy.
You do. You need money to buy candy. You can attempt to climb
Money?
the counter if you want to try that, and then you'd have to figure out how to get into the cash register thing.
Let's try on to get behind
On top shelf.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear most of
I
that.
think the D20 is broken because it seems to be incrementing.
It is increment. Wait,
No, Ellie made it
that
work.
one. Yeah, it did. There's a question
It's
mark.
just
in there
that
somewhere.
we're all rolling very, very poorly. But,
Yes, but a 1, a 2, and a 3?
but at
was a
the same
1, 2, and
time,
3.
keep in mind, we're playing literal babies.
Yeah.
We think storing things
But-
in our mouths, regardless of edibility, is important.
True. That would be a toddler kind of thing to do. But yeah, if you want to try to climb onto the counter, you can attempt it.
Can I try again after failing miserably?
I can try to give her a boost.
You can do that. You can work together if you want to.
Yes, work together. Need money. Money in there. Okay.
Money is fun. It's shiny. I like to chew on it.
If you give them the money, they give you the candy.
Ooh.
Why do you need to get the money when there's candy right here? I'm gonna look around and see if there's anyone looking in my direction.
Okay. Well, the shopkeep is almost done putting all of the good candy on the top shelf.
And they don't seem to have noticed my failed attempt at trying to climb the shelves, so they seem to be very
haven't really
dedicated
noticed
to the
yet.
job.
Yeah, haven't really paid attention to that because they're focusing on like, okay, how much of this do I have? Do I have any more in the back? When do we get more? That kind of
Their
thing. going
coffee's
through
still
their head.
brewing in the back room. They
Yeah,
haven't had their
yeah.
first cup yet.
Exactly. So they're just kind of like putting it up, at the top, and haven't really turned around to notice. The worker is dusting off the sort of the little. There's windows in the front of the store, and they're like kind of dusting off whatever dust has gotten on the ledge of the window and looking to see if anyone's coming in. And somehow, that strange man that was out there has disappeared. So, okay. They don't see anything yet.
Are there any gumballs within reach of me where I don't need to climb?
There could be. So we've got 4 shelves. The good stuff's on the top in jars that have to be opened. The second shelf is not quite as good as the premium stuff on the top, but it's pretty good still. And then as you get lower, it's like less quality. So the lowest shelf has like the least. They're still good candies, but they're like the least enticing of the group.
I mean,
it
I
goes up
wanted
from there.
the stuff that they're putting on the top shelf because I saw they had it, and therefore I wanted it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I would say that as a literal toddler, I'm not very keen on knowing what quality is. Mm-hmm. Having a less than 1-year-old nephew who thinks that the best toy in the world is a soda bottle that has been emptied and had a few Tic Tacs put inside of it to turn it into a rattle.
But that is the best toy.
That's really good.
It is until unless the bottle was not fully dry when you put the Tic Tacs in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With that-
So the ones
with
on the
that
bottom
said,
shelf, the ones on the bottom shelf are in jars, but there's no lids.
Okay, I'm going to take a two-handed grab into 2 jars at the same time and try to shove them into my cute little baby jeans pockets,
Okay, which type
which I'm
of candy
hoping
are
are
you
not sewn
grabbing
shut.
for?
I've never checked.
So there's lollipops, gumballs, and chocolate. So which of these are you grabbing?
Gumballs.
Okay, so for
Those last a
gumballs,
while.
you can grab as many as 5 gumballs at once, and you might want to keep track of how many you have, because you
Okay.
want to end up with like a pound of candy.
Is there anything I need to roll right now?
Depends on how long you take to figure out how to grab the jar, because the shopkeeper's just finished putting up the last jar of the good stuff on the top shelf. So he's going to move.
Did we mention I'm a baby? I'm not sure that I am, like, I've seen jars before. I have worked with jars before. I have been told, no, put that down before. I've been told, what have you done before? So clearly, none of this has sunk in, and I'm going to have to figure out how to use a jar again.
Okay.
And with a 5, I'm going to say that I have probably created a tripping hazard.
Oh, I
by
can
just
see that.
The good news is I probably got the gumballs out of the jars.
Okay. All right.
All of
So
them.
you can have, let's see. The gumballs are.
I'm not saying I have any of them in my hands. I'm saying the
Right,
gumballs are
right.
no longer in jars.
Okay, the gumballs are no longer in jars. So they're falling across the floor?
Well, you are the DM, so you can
Mm-hmm.
rule this any way you want to. But I would say with a roll of 5, the one result that has not happened was I don't have gumballs in my pockets.
Okay, so you don't have that. There is something in these rules that says you can use the gumballs like ball bearings. So if that's your attempt, that's part of this. You can do that.
No, my
So-
attempt was to have them in my pockets. But if they're
Okay,
all over the
but
floor,
what was the result?
creating a hazard for me and everyone in my vicinity, then I have done my sworn duty as a toddler.
Okay, good job. All right. So the shopkeep who hasn't yet had his coffee can smell that it's probably done or hopefully done, and takes a step back without looking to see if he's placed the jars evenly. And I don't know what I need to roll to see if he falls over the gumballs or just squishes them. So
I would
There's no
roll a
specific
dexterity.
Dexterity
check.
for him?
I didn't make any.
And if
I
it's
didn't make a character sheet.
they're a level 0 character, then they've got all 10 stats just like we do, except for our bonuses.
Well, let's just roll it.
So,
Let's just do it that
yeah.
way because that sounds
Just,
easy.
just
So-
decide. So as an experienced DM, it feels weird saying that sometimes. Speaking to a first time DM, usually
Yeah.
what you do is for when you're making stuff up on the fly and picking a difficulty, if it's super easy, 5 or higher. If
Okay.
it's average difficulty, 10 or higher. If it's, this could be kind of challenging. It would take some skill to get this done or some luck, 15. And if you actually don't really think that they should be able to do it, 20.
Okay. So I'm going to write those numbers down. It was what, 5, 10, 15, 20? Is that
Yep.
right?
Just
Okay.
divisible by 5s.
All right. Let me write that down. Okay. So we've got a shopkeep that's not focused on the environment around him, who hasn't had his coffee yet. So I'm going to guess that it probably would be pretty easy for him to sort of stumble, maybe, over those. So what dice do I roll?
D20.
D20. Okay. A D20. Here's a D20. He rolled a 1.
Okay. Well, as a nat 1, it doesn't matter what difficulty you would have given him to have as his target. He's going down.
Yeah, he slips on the gumballs and falls on his butt and is now looking eye to eye at a toddler that wasn't here a minute ago, as far as he could tell.
So is this when I roll my toddler strength to try to give Beth, I forgot your character name. Moo a boost.
You could do it, because I'm looking at the one toddler that's on the bottom shelf that has knocked over some of the gumballs, going, "How did you get in here?"
How's
The
the
door.
7 for trying to give Moo a boost up?
Well, if stats are 10 and you've got a 7, I think you have a pretty good shot. Does that sound all right? Yeah.
Up.
Also, if there's two
So I
of you
should do
involved
a-
in getting up, theoretically, the DM could rule that you get to roll with advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of you could use your action to let the other person roll twice.
I think she needs
I
it.
think, yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll take the higher of the two, which is the 7 that you previously rolled.
Well, that was EO's. That's EO's 7. I
Oh,
only rolled
okay.
once just now because I figure I would need to as well. Can I roll one of the D&D Beyond dice? Because this one hates me. It's given me a 2 and a...
However you get
Here, roll D1.
Mhm.
Roll like that. See? D1 likes us. D1, C3 likes us.
Yes, it does!
Okay.
I'm sticking with Lieutenant Cockpit. I love these low rolls. I am a disaster, baby. There's a reason my character has more hit points than the rest of you. Because I've survived more. It didn't kill me, it made me stronger.
There you go.
Sorry. Let's
I'm
see.
headed
Ellie
toward
has
the
a
back of the
baby.
shop.
You're going to the back of the shop?
That's where
Okay.
That's
Okay,
where they
so
keep
the door
the coffee.
to the back of the shop is open, and there is coffee being made that's almost done. There are large boxes, or I guess they'd be crates, of you don't know what. And there's really not much else. There's like a dustpan and another broom in case things get messy, or if there's like, there's a mop in case it's like a snow day and, you gotta like clean that up. There's not much else in there.
I'm going to try and open a crate because if they keep the good candy on the top shelf, they must keep the really good candy in the back where they don't want anybody to get to it.
Okay.
The really good candy is in the package labeled whole coffee beans.
This is quickly turning into the goose game, you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. I think that's sort of what it
Awesome.
is.
It kind of is, yeah. Okay, so you attempt to open a crate. How are you going to do that? What's your plan? It's like a wooden crate.
Thaumaturgy can open things.
Well, only if they're not locked. And as a DM, I would say that nailed shut
Yeah,
is probably locked.
probably locked.
If it's nailed shut.
Well, they open from the top, so I'm going to climb on top and try and open it from there.
Okay, so it's a crate that might be taller than you, because you're a toddler. So
Then I'm
Is there
gonna
a
find
stool or a
chair.
chair around?
there probably is a chair back there. It's kind of a break room as well. So there could be a chair so the shopkeep can sit and drink their coffee and that kind of thing. You could try to move a chair if you
Yep.
want.
I
You gotta roll
will try and
something.
move a chair.
Okay. You got an 18. You can move a chair.
All right. Then I climb onto the chair, and then I climb onto the crate. And
Okay.
then while standing on the lid of the crate, I try and pry up the lid of the crate.
Okay. That's going to be interesting. Yeah.
I love that this is going so much better than my scenario where I'm surrounded by gumballs and staring at a shopkeep
Right.
who's just falling on their back.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not even going to bother to roll because I know it's going to fail.
Okay. So you're just pulling on it until you're done trying to do that, I guess, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Please tell me
Okay.
you're pulling on it while standing on it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's what you've gotten yourself into. All right. At this point, the shopkeep finally gets up, kind of dusts himself off, and
I've been picking my nose this entire time
okay. So
and
he
just staring right back at it.
Which nose did you settle on?
dude.
I settle on the one where I can get 2 fingers in the same nostril.
Oh, that's a good nose.
Yeah. Because sometimes you got to
Okay.
get in there pretty deep.
All right, so the shopkeep gets up and notices that there's like gumballs scattered across the floor, and he waves over at the worker who's kind of just, staring out the window, bored. And, hey, grab that broom and start sweeping these up. We can't sell
The
them if they're
jars
all
fell
over. the floor."
over.
So the worker
Are you
kind
going
of
to
turns
say
around
that?
and
I mean, that is what happened. If anyone
Yeah.
asks what happened, I'm not
Right.
gonna lie to them. I'm gonna say the jars fell over. They did.
Now, are you speaking in
Because you're-
common or infernal? Because you have a human shopkeep and a half-elf worker.
Jen, I
Uh-huh.
say this from the bottom of my heart. I am loving you being a DM because
Really?
you have put this thought in my head that was not there before. Of course I'm going to speak to them in Infernal. It's my native language.
All right. The shopkeep just assumes
I can speak it
toddler,
so everyone speaks it, right?
of course.
What happened here?
Okay. So the
Some
shopkeep
random
waves
person
over at the
walking across the
worker.
street outside has their hair catch on fire while I say the jars fell over.
Yeah. So the worker's a teenager and is bored and really doesn't like her job. So she's like, fine. She goes and gets the broom and starts coming over to where the gumballs are and just kind of haphazardly tries to sweep them into a dustpan. So that's what she's doing.
Are you-
Meanwhile,
I'm gonna
the
help.
worker is, or the
I'm
the
gonna
shopkeep
pick
is
up-
going to try to stand up at this point.
I'm going to be picking up gumballs and putting them in the dustpan.
Okay. The worker's just like, yeah, go, kiddo.
I'm assuming. Actually, I really want to roll for this.
Okay.
You know what would help if I put the R? So, with a 9, may I suggest that I do in fact manage to pick up gumballs one at a time and place them in the dustpan, but that there's enough that have been swept in the dustpan that everyone that I put in causes one to roll out.
Okay.
You've invented gumball racing.
You're right. I stop helping immediately and try to roll 2 gumballs down the aisle as quickly as possible to see which one wins.
Okay. So as soon as you've picked up the 2 gumballs and have decided to roll them, the worker picks up the dustpan and goes to toss the gumballs that have been all over the floor into the trash can.
Those are the best ones. They've picked up all the extra flavors.
Yeah. So she's dumping them into a little trash can that is located somewhere near the counter of the shop. And just dumping them in.
There's kids sitting next to the. I
You're fading in and out.
presume
Sorry.
that works. I presume that how it works is that I did roll enough to clamber onto the counter next to the cash register. Is that a good roll or a bad roll?
Were you climbing the shelves or were you climbing to the counter? I got confused.
I want to get on the counter
When you get on the counter,
Next to
okay,
the
you want to
ca-
get on the counter.
next to the cash register.
Okay,
And I
yeah,
got a
you
boost.
can. You got a boost, so yeah, it seems like you're probably going to be successful with the boost.
Now the next
Yay!
trick is to try.
Yay!
Okay. Is it possible to open the drawer on the cash register?
Well, you don't know yet. There are like 3 or 4 buttons on the cash register, and there's it's like a really, like an old-fashioned cash register.
Wait.
There's several buttons.
It's got the lever.
It's got the lever.
Hang on. Hang on. Beth, your character is essentially a cat, right?
Oh my!
I have that as my plan B.
And
That's my plan B, Ellie. That's my plan
no,
B.
hang on. I'm not sure because what we're presented with here is a cat presented with a keyboard.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, that's plan A. But I have plan B.
Okay. So yeah,
Today
it
my
has
cat
the lever.
turned off my computer by walking across the keyboard.
Oh my goodness.
Keyboards are the natural sitting place of cats.
That's true.
But
If
they
they weren't the natural
slide. They
sitting
would
place,
slide.
then why aren't they? Then why were they made of worm?
But this one is going to be probably on a slant, and that means that it's slidey, and that means that it's probably difficult to actually, I mean, the first thing is you look for the tray, and you go tug, and when that presumably doesn't work, then you start pushing buttons.
This baby is more wise in the ways of this world than I am, to be certain. I continue my
Meanwhile,
gumball
you're
races.
teasing gumballs across the floor.
Well, I'm having fun. I don't
I've
know about
been-
you. I know we came in
I've
here to
been
get things
saving
to
up.
eat, but I didn't know they were toys.
Ah, okay, cool.
I've been saving up so that I can get a cat. And every time I get up in the morning, I think about, okay, I've got X number of dollars until I can get a cat. My goal is to have a year's total cost of ownership in savings. And every morning I get up and I think about how much I have left toward the year's total cost of ownership. Right now it's about $200. And every morning I get up and I look around my house and I say, I have got to straighten this up before I get a cat.
Well, yeah, considering.
It's okay. All
Go,
your
go, go,
shelves
go,
will
go.
be totally clean within one day of getting the cat.
Oh, definitely. It's not even shelves. It's like all the wires hanging everywhere. And
Oh, guys, you've got to pick up the wires, Ellie. You've got to pick up the wires. Those are toys. Those are toys that if they eat the toys, then you will have a vet bill, and then you will not have a year's worth of
oh yeah, no,
Yeah, that's a good point.
trust me. When I first got my first dog, Samson, and when I say my first, I mean my first. That wasn't a family dog when I was growing up. We didn't realize that he had a habit of chewing on books and wires and basically anything he could get his teeth on. And we tried to allay this with toys, that were fun to chew on.
Oh.
He did not favor toys.
Oh no. Oh no.
He would just lay down somewhere and then start gnawing on whatever was nearby.
Okay. Creative dog, I guess.
So I am familiar with pets that chew.
All right.
The perils
Anyway.
of pets that chew.
Okay. So we have a cat-like tiefling that is considering sitting on the cash register. Am I right?
No, we're going to hit it with the hand to, hit the buttons to make it pop.
Okay. So let's see.
Make the drawer pop.
Okay, to make the drawer pop. So there's like, I'm thinking like the old time cash register. So there's like a bunch of buttons. So roll to how would this be? What should you roll for that? Well, you've rolled an 18, so you've hit a button that does something. If it's 18 out of 20, you may have.
You smack all the buttons.
Yeah, you just smack them all.
You smack all the buttons, and then you push the lever.
Okay, so you smack all the buttons.
Obviously, someone has.
Okay, so
As
you smack all
someone
the
who has worked
buttons.
in retail, there's a part of me that is cringing.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
hard.
Okay, so the lever you have to be able to pull it towards you, as if you were standing in front of the cash register. The buttons you can hit. You probably successfully hit all the buttons, but
Does this mean I am now dangling from the lever?
that's up to you.
Either that, or let's see. If you stand up next to it and you just pull the lever and you back up,
Then you'd be on the
guess-
counter. So I mean, you could try that.
and then just back up until the thing pops open, and this probably means dangling from the lever at the end of all this. I hope it's heavy cash register.
It's probably a heavy cash register, I would think. Yeah.
It might
old ones were
even be
huge.
bolted to the table for security reasons,
Right.
which also help with cat-like tiefling hanging from the register handle reasons.
Yeah, it's got enough weight
But
to not just come off of the counter. So.
Oh,
But I'm sure that
no, what
wasn't the security
happened
reasons they
while
had in
I-
mind.
What you missed was so
You grab the
move it,
lever
all
and you
the
back
buttons.
up.
Yeah, pull the lever, dangling from the lever, but the cash register is bolted to the counter, so it's not going to follow.
And hopefully it will pop the drawer open that has the money in it.
Okay, so
Meanwhile, I have moved on to the next crate and then trying to pull up the lid while standing on top of it.
okay, that's fine. All right, so the shopkeep decides I really need my coffee and goes walking towards the back room to get it. And he'll be in there in like 5 steps. As he passes the counter, he stops and looks at what he thinks is 2 more baby tieflings and just shakes his head and goes, I'm getting my coffee. Goes into the back room and sees another
Quick.
one.
Quick.
The
Hi, can you help me
realism
open
in
this?
in this shop is uncanny.
The realness is? Is that what you said?
It is so true to life for retail workers that are just all of the enjoyment of running a candy store is so gone.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for the parent to show up so they can say, "Is this
Is
your
this
kid?"
yours? Yeah. That. I've done retail for a lot, so
So many
that's
of us
probably where
have.
I'm pulling from. Yeah.
Yep.
I am going
Yeah.
to whisper down to Penny. I assume Penny is the right one. Climb my tail and get the money so we can buy candy.
But your tail is pointy.
Only at the end.
So the chef keeps hearing this in Baby Inferno or Infernal going, I don't
Baby
care right now."
Infernal.
Baby Infernal, and just doesn't care. Gets a cup of the coffee, goes to look for the chair. Where is my chair?
The chair is over next to the crate.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's not a big break room. It's kind of a combination storeroom break room in a little tiny space.
Oh my god.
Wow. You've climbed the tail successfully to the counter.
Squeak out, squeak out, squeak out. We endure much for this candy. Still dangling from the handle.
Okay. So now you have to figure out how much of the coins in there you can grab. It's not a completely full register because the shopkeep hasn't refilled it yet the plan was to stock the shelves, get the coffee, refill the register. Hasn't gotten to
I'm
that
gonna
part, but
grab
there's
the
slum.
copper coins because those are my favorite.
Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna roll to see how many copper coins are in there. I'll do a d6. There's one
Because
copper
what's
coin
the
in there at this time. And then there's possibly some other kinds of coins in there as well. There might be like a gold coin and maybe 2 silvers.
Oh, I'm gonna shove them all in my mouth and jump down.
Oh gosh. I feel like there should
Don't
be a check
swallow
to
them,
see if
don't swallow
you
them.
like eat them. You know?
Then they're super safe. They'll take the long way to get to your diaper, where they can be stored for quite some time.
Oh my goodness.
My dress doesn't have pockets.
Oh no.
You need cool jeans like mine. I still don't know if my pockets are sewn shut or not.
Oh right, you haven't checked you're chasing the gumballs, I think. The two that you...
I got distracted. There were more important things.
Yeah, okay, so you've rolled, out of a d20, you've rolled an 8 on not accidentally swallowing the coins.
Or spitting them out.
Right,
Or...
now if you just said out loud, my dress doesn't have pockets, I'm assuming you kind of ended up spitting out the coins? Possibly?
My dress doesn't have pocket.
That could be done that way too. Yeah.
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the cash register.
Right. Okay.
Or possibly on the floor.
But I'm going to assume, since it's not a 1, that you haven't, in fact, harmed yourself by swallowing the coins.
Did I
At this
harm
point.
myself by jumping down?
That's a good question. So let's see.
Is that
The
for-
counter's about the size of, if you've got a human male shopkeep, it comes up to just above his waist. So it'd be about, I don't know.
It's a well-known fact that babies bounce.
This is a possibility as well.
This is not an actual fact.
What?
Listeners, do not try to bounce babies.
No, don't try to bounce
The,
babies.
the administration
bounce
of this
themselves.
recording does not endorse or condone in any way the bouncing of babies.
Okay, you've rolled a 2.
Penny jumps down from the counter, falls and rolls a little bit, and looks around to see if anybody's looking before they start crying.
Because it only counts if someone's looking. Yeah. Okay, so you have fallen off, or jumped off the counter and landed.
No, I fell off.
Badly.
You fell off? Okay, you've fallen
I mean,
off the
I was
counter.
trying. I was trying to jump off.
Okay,
I
so...
fell.
That's a 2. That's a 2.
Yeah.
That's not a crit.
Okay. So you might feel as though you are slightly injured at this point.
I have taken
because
a point
you have
of
fallen.
damage.
Yeah, 1 point of damage, and let's see.
And are probably crying.
Then you could choose to cry if you want to, or you could just
Yes.
shrug it off and move on. Okay, you're going to start crying. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
However, I think Ellie's doing something.
Okay.
What's Zori doing?
Oh, I was rolling to see if I pulled hard enough that my feet went through the top of the crate.
Her
Is it that
character
far?
is the strongest of all of us, with a strength of
true.
11.
That
But,
could be,
but
yeah.
the strongest of all of us.
True.
When I hear the crying, I'm immediately going to go over and try to make Penny feel better by giving her the fastest gumball.
Oh.
As the fastest, I've rolled it over the floor more than any of the others. So
Okay.
it probably also has the best flavor, the fastest flavor.
So you each have 1 gumball at this point, and you're trying to get a total of a pound
20.
of candy, right? Doesn't
All
matter
of
what kind.
them.
You can mix it.
Try and
You
get a
can mix
pound.
the candy. Yeah. So you each have 1 gumball. I'm gonna mark that down.
Did we
I
get
will
the
lose it.
money? Where's the
Yes,
coin?
it's
Where's
in
the
her
coin?
mouth. It's in her mouth.
Well, she's crying, so it probably fell out.
Yeah, the coin. It is possible that Penny is lying on the ground crying while there are coins around her.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, can I drop down off of the handle?
You can try. Roll
Okay.
acrobatics
Oh,
or
no.
athletics, maybe?
Where is the trash can in relation to the counter?
Off to the side, so that if someone doesn't want their receipt, it goes right in the trash can.
So
I just
Oh, now it likes me.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I-
you're fine. You land on. You're great.
so the sequence of statements there was, can I drop down off of the handle? You can try. I
As
want to
opposed
know
to
what
falling
happens if
pathetically.
you had failed.
Tail
Possibly
gets
I would
caught.
float.
Well,
Oh
You
no.
just-
or you just, decide that it's
I
too
tried to drop
scary and
off
you
the
keep
hit.
hanging on,
Right, exactly.
Well,
Point,
if you
point.
have a cat-like character, that tail is not fully under the control of said character, and therefore
course not.
could get caught up on something. And then we would have the
Uh,
sorry state of 2 crying tieflings.
On the other hand,
This
it's
is
possible
cat-like
that like
grace.
the lever is like coated in denim or something, and the cat has claws.
Oh, I mean, it could be.
Or they could
I
just
was
get
just,
stuck
I'm
in
just
the wood.
thinking of the funniest possible.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Yes,
think it was
but-
just a regular
but I rolled a
rubber that,
19.
Yeah,
I think we
so-
have the cat-like grace.
Yes.
Landing with cat-like grace and
land just
pouncing
fine.
on the big and looking for the biggest coin.
I have found an example
Hold
of
it,
cat-like
poor kid.
grace for you.
here we
Indeed,
are.
it's
Yeah,
Cat
that's about
Pachinko.
right. I hope that cat is okay.
That is Cat Pachinko. It sure is that video. That GIF. Oh my
I
god.
hope the cat is okay.
I hope so too. Okay, so the shopkeep is about halfway through with his coffee, and he's found his chair. He's moved it back over to where it's supposed to be, and he's looking at the little tiefling kid on the crate. So, what are you doing?
Hi, can you help me open this?
Do you
good
state in
candy
common
is in
or
here.
or infernal?
In common.
In common.
First one who speaks common.
Wow. Okay.
What's
let me
Moira
finish my
saying?
coffee and I'll think about it. I'm on my break.
Can I have a coffee?
No. Babies don't need coffee
What? Why not?
because it's too much for babies.
Why?
I don't know, kid. I'm not a father.
Why?
Oh. All right, let's get you out of here. I put my coffee down. It's almost done. I'm kind of done with it. And I go to attempt to grapple the tiefling. So I'd have to roll something for that. So all the stats are 10, so if I roll a d10, that would do it, right? Yeah?
A D10 or a D20.
D10, I'll just roll a d20.
How do you grapple a baby? Well, I suppose
It's
it
easy.
depends on if the baby wants
Carefully
to be
and
picked
tenderly as possible, especially
Right.
when said baby has horns.
Uh-huh. Okay, the shopkeep has rolled a 14. So he's just going to go and kind
Well, I
of...
have rolled a 7.
Right, so I'm going to just
my-
scoop up the baby and bring the baby tiefling back outside and to the main shop, and then I see the rest
Oranges.
attacked the cash register.
Meanwhile, I still
sobbing
know.
baby.
I have delivered my favorite gumball
Yes.
that I've had for as long as I can remember, about 2 minutes at this point, but as
Right.
long as I can remember. But I also remember that a lot of gumballs were put in that trash can.
Yep,
So while
they are
this
in
is
the trash
going
can.
on, I'm thinking we could carry a lot of candy in that trash can.
Penny is going to crawl over to the shopkeeper and cry at him to see if he'll give her candy.
Okay, right now my arm is full of other tiefling babies, so... I'm like, all right, I put down the first one. What happened
Is the
to
door
you?
still open?
Yeah, door's
Should
still
I
open.
roll
run back in.
persuasion?
Persuasion.
A persuasion. Yeah.
It is the crying baby that if you want the baby to stop crying, you will have to
to
give them
pick them
something
up.
in their mouth.
Yes, that is.
Okay,
This works so well because two of us are teachers, have been teachers, or are teachers, and one of us has been a parent, is a parent currently. Ignore my tenses. My verb tenses are all over the place right now.
Several of us are parents
Oh
currently.
yeah, you're right. You're
Yes.
right. Yes.
Okay, so I put down the one tiefling child that I took out of the back room, and I turned to this tiefling child, and I'm like,
Penny gives him big, sad, watery eyes.
oh no, not that. And I turn around and I grab something off the second shelf, and it is a lollipop, and I hand it over. Here, feel better.
I mean, tieflings do have a +2 to charisma. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's where the +1 came from.
And we are condensed, so therefore it should be a purer form of charisma boost.
Yeah. Okay, so now
Like
you have one
taking the
gumball
Kool-Aid
and one
packet and pouring it
lollipop.
directly into your mouth instead of mixing it with water first.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, if you're just holding
I'm
it, then
concerned.
you're adding to your trying to get a pound of candy total. So yeah, so
But if you
a
eat it, it's a
lollipop-
healing potion.
right, then it doesn't. Well, you might get it. Yeah, that's how it is. If you eat it, it's gone. 5 lollipops
But
equal
also-
a pound of candy. 20 gumballs equal a pound of candy. Chocolate equals 2 chocolates equal 1 pound. So you can mix and match to get to that level of.
I
to
am
get to 1
taking the
pound.
nearest jar while this is happening on the bottom shelf
Yep.
and pouring it into the trash can.
I don't know. Okay, the worker who's now cleaned up the rest of the shop and just found a few stray gumballs walks over and is like, whatever, dumps the last 2 in and just walks away.
Someone is
Meanwhile,
not paid for this.
Right.
I have decided that the very best candy must be in the coffee pot.
Oh no, I'm not back there. I have no idea what you're doing.
That's right.
The shopkeep is standing in the middle of the room with his hands on his hips going, where are their parents?
Crying baby.
I was told my parents were in a place that I'm not allowed to say out loud because it's a cuss word.
And I'm assuming you're still speaking in Infernal, so the shopkeep just shrugs at you like, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. Now the
We're
I'm
something
still
or
assuming the
we're
shopkeeper heard every word
fins.
and understood it.
We're something or we're fins. I don't know which one.
Orphans.
Oh.
We're fins.
Okay. Oh. Did you say it? How loud did you say it? Because I'm in the front of the room and you're in the break room.
I have thaumaturgy. I say it as loud as I
Oh,
want to.
gosh. Okay, so the shopkeep is
These
temporarily
babies have
rattled
volume
by the
control.
length.
They're the only
yeah.
ones who do.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah, but they're in charge of it.
the shopkeep
Which is to say we
temporarily
don't have volume
rattled
control.
by the volume coming from that toddler, and
If I have had any coffee, that is my volume from now on.
okay. You probably had there was the shopkeep makes enough coffee for 1 cup, but he did not finish his cup. It's about half.
Then I have had half a cup of coffee.
Okay, so that's where you're at. So keep track of however long that's supposed to last. Yeah. Okay. So the
Did
shopkeep
someone
goes
get
back.
haste?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. There's no rules
No,
in here
it's-
for
it's
coffee,
not
but we
chroma
can count
coffee.
it that way. It's just coffee. It's
Yes,
just
but we are babies.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it depends on how the coffee affects you.
Whoosh.
You
Well,
know, you
if,
could,
it depends on if we're babies with ADHD. We might fall asleep.
Yeah, it's possible. Or if you've managed to acquire coffee in the past, you might know what your reaction is. In
Well,
that
when the
case.
caffeine crash happens later on,
Yeah. So that's a thing.
we won't be tired. It is not time for nap. We definitely could stay up. Not tired.
This is. I'm assuming that I'm working on the sugar rush.
Yeah, the chocolate is a sugar rush if you eat a chocolate. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So if that's it, then there's so if we go with the chocolate rolls, it evokes a sugar rush. It gives you an advantage on all strength and dexterity checks for 5 minutes. However, you must make a DC 15 con save to avoid falling asleep for a post-sugar nap. So this would be a post-caffeine nap instead.
Also,
and I
it
have
might
no
stunt
idea
your
how to
growth.
track minutes. Sorry,
So you
what?
might grow up to be. It might stunt your growth. So you might grow up to be a petite tiefling.
Oh.
A petite-fling.
But you like,
a petite fleet. A petite fleet.
okay.
I just want to find the
Uh,
biggest of the coins, and I have plans once I get one.
Okay. You can
Or
do
as
that.
many
Just
of
tell
them
me when I
with
need
any-
to make my Constitution save.
Okay, so we'll figure.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not immediately.
Yeah,
but
not yet,
sure.
but- In a while, I'll need to make a Constitution save.
In a
and
while.
You got to tell me
Yeah.
when
Okay,
that
so I
is.
figure you can do maybe 2 or 3 actions and then maybe have to roll. How's that?
Okay.
Okay.
I have
I mean,
a question.
there's no real rolls. Yes.
So at this point, there are at least 3 jars of candy that have been poured into this trash can, possibly more, depending on how long conversations and actions have taken place, because I have not stopped.
Okay. So are you just taking the ones from the bottom shelf?
I'm taking the ones I can reach. I tried climbing once and I decided I didn't want to climb. That I
Okay.
failed the first time I tried is irrelevant to this conversation, and no one should bring it up.
Okay, so assuming you're going for the ones on the bottom shelf where you don't have to climb, they don't have lids, and they are half the size of the ones on the top shelf. So,
Okay.
yeah.
But my question is, how far are we from having a pound of candy poured into this trash can?
Oh, that's interesting. All right, so figure you spilled the first jar of gumballs from there, and it's like, I'm gonna assume that the ones on the top shelf on their own are a pound of candy. So the ones at the bottom would be like maybe half a pound of candy. And you've got how many jars in there now?
Minimum 3.
Okay.
DM's prerogative if I had time to pour more in while the antics with the coffee were going on.
Right. 3 sounds about like I think a toddler could do 3. That makes sense.
Well, it's because 2 of them were from the shopkeep pouring them in after I spilled them all over the floor.
Right. Yeah. So 2 of
And
them.
one of
are
them
from
was
that.
I grabbed another random one and poured it in.
Okay, so you have a pound and a half of coffee of
Right.
gumballs.
Gumballs.
Well, clearly,
At this point.
when the trash can is full, they take it out back and dump it, right? I'm helping.
Oh gosh, the
I'm
shopkeep
going
has
to,
no
I'm going to
idea
start
this is
trying
happening.
to push this trash can out back.
Okay, you can try. It's going to take a strength check, I think.
Darn right it should. And I'm looking to see if this is going to have me pushing myself back or not, because I've done that too.
Or if it's going to knock them over.
Oh, you're right. If I
could
roll
knock
on
it
that one,
over.
that's definitely
Or-
going to happen, I'm sure.
Or if you're going to slip on the gumballs that are still on the floor.
Oh, I think those are picked up by now because I think the work
They were
just dumped the
picked up
last
by a
couple
minimum
in.
wage.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't
employee.
care.
But-
Yeah.
So
I was
Does not
assuming
care.
that Levi was continuing to race gumballs.
well, I was,
Got
but I stopped when I found the winner.
Okay, so you have a
And
eight
also
out of
when
a
Penny
20.
cried.
Right,
Yes.
you might have been distracted by that too.
That's when I decided who the winner was.
Okay. All right, so an 8 out of 20. That's like you're trying to push it, but it's not really moving very much.
I try to sing a song that makes me more powerful because I'm clearly sure that will work. About taking out the trash, taking out the trash, taking out the trash.
And the shopkeep
to
is
put
Infernal.
our trash
is hearing this in
away,
Infernal
trash
and just
away, trash away.
starts walking
Time to
away from
put our
this.
trash away.
Because I'm pretty sure I've
To a
lost track of
tiefling,
the,
this is a wonderful song. Possibly, I should probably make a performance check to see if that's true. But
you can
There was
Right.
Penny.
I have not stopped speaking in Infernal, so no.
Okay. Yeah, so it's from the shopkeep's ears. He's like, "This is awful," and just walks back into the back room. And there's the tiefling that.
But there's a
Removed
crying Penny.
from
Don't
there.
forget crying Penny.
Well, I gave her a lollipop. I mean,
And I gave her the
True,
best
true.
gumball. It was really the second best
Yeah,
gumball, but
Penny's
don't tell her.
going to stop crying and crawl away to go try to steal a jar while no one's looking.
okay. Are you stealing a jar on the bottom shelf or one of the higher shelves?
I can't reach up, so I'm just going to grab one of the bottom shelf ones and I'm going to
Okay.
stick the lollipop in it.
You could try.
Okay.
You could
You
try
could do
looking
that.
for tails to climb. That could help.
Yeah, you could.
That went very well.
If the jars of gumballs had been dumped in by Levi, then assuming Levi didn't throw the jars in as well, so you might be able to easily acquire a jar that's empty and put the lollipop in.
Or you're
But
just
I
going
want
to
to
acquire
steal a
could
jar of
dump one.
candy.
Okay, then you can try to steal a jar of candy from wherever you think you can reach it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. If it's the bottom shelf, I'm sure you can grab it because that's the easiest ones to get.
I can get middle if I get the below where the jars are. Dunk.
You're
Thump,
fading in and out.
thump.
I'm sorry. Oh, you're kind of reaching them. Okay. You can
Thump.
try that. All right, I've been alerted we've been playing for an hour and maybe I should take a little break now.
Oh, probably we should, yeah.
Okay. Let's do
All right,
that.
I'll pause the recording.
Press the button.
It is a wonderful day in the candy shop, and we are a collection of horrible tieflings.
Tiefling toddlers at that. So we're back, and we had a little break, and so now we are continuing the rest of this one-off, in which every player is a toddler Tiefling trying to obtain at least a pound of candy from the candy shop that they found their way into. And we'll pick up from here. When we left off, we had, let's see, I think that, what was the names? I wrote them down.
While Jen's looking that up, be assured, reader, that absolutely no time has passed since the first half of this recording. It's not like we did this a month ago and have now forgotten what we did.
I kind of remember, I think. So I think Penny
referring to me.
was... okay, well, that's all right. You're playing a tiefling, a baby tiefling. You don't have to remember things. Okay, so I think Penny was crying and was handed a lollipop from the shopkeeper. Levi is trying to push over or push out a trash can that he has helpfully filled with the smallest jars of gumballs, but not the jars themselves.
That's where they were putting all the candy that was on the floor that
Yes.
was still good.
This
so
is
I
true.
just figured I was going to top it off,
Yeah.
and now I'm making a break for it.
Yes. Okay, so that's what you're doing. Let's
Out the
see.
back.
Out the back was the plan, I think. Yeah, and let's see. Moo, I think is how it's pronounced.
Moo.
I'm not sure what Moo was doing, actually.
I believe that Moo was attempting to pick up money and request that had been gotten out of the cash register,
Okay.
and then go find an employee and present them with money and say candy.
Okay. So I think
Hopefully not an infernal. Is there a word for candy in infernal?
I don't
Oh,
know.
that's right. Everything we've been saying has been an infernal.
Except for Ori, who was talking to the shopkeep in common.
Okay, everything I've been saying was an
Yes.
infernal.
It's been an infernal. So the shopkeep and the helper, the shopkeep is a human, and the helper is half elf. So they have no idea, what's being said at all.
I'm going to assume that there's no word for candy in infernal, or at least not one that Moo knows. Therefore, Moo will probably use candy in... Yeah, I think Moo will use candy in common because that's what this has been called to her.
Okay. That makes sense.
No one has called the candy souls.
Right, as has been put into the chat here. Okay. Oh, that's cute. That's a cute little gift. That's not going to help our listeners understand what I'm looking at, but okay. And I think
it's a little devil baby.
it is a little devil baby. It's very cute. Has a little pacifier. Anyway, and I think Ori had picked up the shopkeep's half-empty cup of coffee and drank it, which means, according to the rules that were set up with when this thing was made, which is not made by any of us, by the way, you roll a dice, and you either... you roll a dice, and I'm gonna just call it, if you get an even number, you fall asleep for 1 minute. If you get an odd number, you have the zoomies for 1 minute.
Zoomies. Zoomies, zoomies, zoomies. Zoomies.
Zoomies. Okay, so you have the zoomies for 1 minute, and you may do that in however you see fit for your character.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. I think you were trying to open one of the crates while standing on it.
Yes.
I think so. So you can exert your energy that way, or do whatever else you choose as a baby.
Because she's the strong one.
I am going to serially try and open the crates by
Okay.
standing on them.
By standing on them. All right. Okay, so
You stand on it, you get your bend over, you get your hand under you open it, right?
But
Perfectly, right?
if you serially open them, we're just going to get cornflakes.
all right. So the helper is still just staring out the window and ignoring the rest of what's going on at this point.
Wondering what
And-
went wrong in their life.
Yeah,
Tug,
they're just
tug, tug.
on who?
Moo would like to tug on probably on the helper's apron or pants leg or skirt or whatever in order to wave the shiny coin.
She is wearing
And ask
an
for
apron
candy.
and a skirt and everything else you'd expect. The worker looks down at you and sees that you've got some coins in your hand.
Candy!
Let me see. She looks closer at the amount that you have, and I think we decided there was 1 or 2 pennies. I think there was 1 gold coin and 2 silver. So how many of those, the gold and silver? I'm pretty sure that Penny took the penny, or pennies?
Yep, Penny
Yep.
took the pennies.
Okay, so those are, Penny has those. So you have either 1 gold coin and or 2 silver coins, or the combination. Okay, so she's looking at that and going,
Do we know which one is actually... Do we understand which ones are better? It may be all 3. There may have been some picking things up.
it could just be grab and here you go.
Well,
kind of
clearly
thing.
the pennies are the best one because
Penny!
they're the same color as me.
There you go.
Right.
But the helper doesn't understand anything you're saying in Infernal, so she's going to kind of guess about something.
Candy in common. Candy in common. Candy.
Hey,
Gotta do
boss,
candy in common.
this one wants to buy something with, let me see, gold coin and 2 silver. Do we have anything
And
for
hopefully
that?
we'll not remember. And hopefully not remember that that's what was part of what was actually in the cash register.
Well,
Hopefully they won't remember that.
the helper doesn't do anything with the cash register. The shopkeep might remember, but
Oops.
is a little distracted by everything going on in the place, and so the shopkeep is watching Levi try to push over the trash can, and
I'm
kind
not
of
trying
waves-
to push it over. I'm trying to push it out. If it gets pushed over, it's just because I haven't taken a physics class yet. I'm a toddler. Give me a few years.
So the shopkeep is just looking at that and looking at the trash and going, "Oh, that's a lot of product," and waves over at the helper. Just give him, I don't know, something from the bottom shelf. So the helper walks over to the bottom shelf and
Toddle,
opens
toddle,
up.
toddle, toddle,
Is there anything left on the bottom shelf?
There may
That's
be
what I was
one or
clearing
2
out.
things. Well, if you've cleared it all out, then it's gone. So
Well, the player
It's
does
what
not
was-
know how much room there was in the trash can.
True. Okay, well, it's like just a little standard trash can. It's not like a huge one, so you could reach to put things in it and stuff like that. Okay, so the helper looks around and finds some one jar that looks like it's had a handful of gumballs removed from it somehow, and then there's some on the floor, and she just kind of scoops up some of that and goes, "Here, kid, you now have a half pound of gumballs." And you're aiming for a pound.
For the record, I've rolled a 10 on my strength check to try to push the trash can.
Okay, well, that's
I don't know
Probably-
if that means I've made progress, not made progress, or I'm in fact looking like I'm moonwalking on the floor while the trash can stays put.
well, it's not unlike the cash register. It is not like stuck to the floor because it does need to be emptied at some point. So, you could probably attempt to move it a bit and make some progress.
Yes, I attempted with a 10.
Okay, so a 10. What did you roll? You rolled a d20.
I rolled a d20.
Okay.
I
Okay,
don't
so
have any strength bonus, so...
Okay, so you are able to sort of inch the trash can little by little by little, slowly.
Every time I feel that jolt forward of just a little bit of I broke inertia before it settles back down because the floor is probably sticky. It's a candy shop. Mm-hmm. I consider that
Sticky
to be
by now.
the greatest of triumphs. I am clearly #winning.
Okay, and you're pushing it in what direction? Just straight forward?
I'm trying to go through whatever that door is in the back because I've seen people go through that before. I'm assuming that's another way out.
Okay, so the way this place is set up, there's a counter with a cash register on it, and right next to the cash register, over by the corner, is the trash can. So if people don't want their receipts, they just get thrown in there. And, well, now there's a bunch of candy in there. So if you want to go into the back room where you think there is a back door, you can attempt to maneuver the trash around either side of the counter and try to make your way over there. If you
That
have
is
the
exactly
patience.
what I am attempting to doing.
Okay, excellent. We're on the same page.
I said that wrong. That's exactly what I'm attempting to do.
Okay.
I'm not going to say I'm doing it well. Just
Well,
like my
that's-
master of the English language seems to be lacking today.
Well, you rolled a 10, so you're kind of within that.
Yes,
I think,
the player
sort of
rolled a
successful, not
10 on
100%.
speaking to the DM. You're absolutely
Aw.
right.
Okay. All right. So we know what almost all of the tieflings are doing. What is Penny doing? Last up, she was crying and was given a lollipop.
I'm pretty sure Penny was attempting to repeat this with other customers who had not seen this.
Do we have any?
We don't
Do we have any other customers?
We don't have any other customers yet. It's early in the day, so.
Oh, I
could be
thought there were
something, yeah.
other people here.
No, there's just these two
Not yet.
beleaguered workers, and so
We can always go out and bring more customers in.
you could try if that's what you want to do. Yeah.
We're babies. People do what we want because we're cute.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. So right now the shopkeep is kind of glancing out the window, trying to figure out like how late in the day are we. It still looks like morning.
And where is the children's parents?
Right. Well,
Guardians.
I think when the shopkeep went to have his break and was drinking coffee, that Ori was talking to him in common and mentioned something about an orphanage. So he's picked up that much and knows there are no parents coming for these kids right now. So he's like, okay, all right. Oh, I got to fill the cash register. Goes over to open it. Empty. Very confused.
Oh, I mean, maybe the other one needs to put the money in. You know, after all, I gave the money for the candy. Move things that you give the shiny things, you get the candy things, hopefully in a bag.
Okay, so the worker realizes she's still holding like a couple of coins and just walks over to the register and plunks them in and goes back to the window and is looking out for now.
Waiting for her significant other.
To come home
see.
from the war.
We'll see. Okay, so should we assume a minute has gone by? I don't know how to track that with this. There's no combat, so I don't know.
Then
Were any
time
of the
is
crates
wibbly wobbly.
opened?
It's whatever you want it to be.
Okay.
I'm
So
going
Did any
to
of the crates
assume-
get opened? Broken.
you're going to assume?
Little tiefling feet shoved into the.
Oh, no, that's a glorious image. I'm going to
It is.
assume it would take me at least a minute of constant pushing to get the trash can even close to that back door.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
I should probably do something since you told me there weren't any other customers.
There are no other customers yet, but the shop.
Don't forget Ellie.
Right.
Ellie,
Right.
can you be a customer?
I thought Ellie was opening the crates.
Yes, Ellie is opening the crates.
Okay.
How's that going?
Don't
Probably
know. You
not
haven't
well.
gone back there. Yeah, you haven't gone back there, so you don't know.
True.
I think we're all
Yeah.
doing incredibly well. What are you talking about?
Yep. All right.
I'm
Is there a
going-
hammer back there?
If I had a hammer.
There could be one because the crates had to be put together by someone, probably the shopkeep.
Okay.
Or they
I'll
have
look
to
for
be
a hammer
open.
Somewhere.
while EO does what they're doing. I'll look for a hammer.
Okay.
I'm going to try to sneak candy into my dress
Okay.
because it doesn't have any pockets.
Okay. Fair. You can try this. Which shelf of candy do you want? Do you want the easily accessible ones towards the floor, or are you going to go for the better stuff?
Is there much left near the floor?
Probably not.
I'm gonna try to climb up.
Okay. All right. Roll a dice, and we'll do even is a success, and odds is not a success. And you got a 3, so that would be not a success. How high did you get before something happened that halted your progress?
I fell off.
Penny is crying again. Oh no!
This might
not
take
this.
2 lollipops to fix.
This
just
might,
saying.
yeah. Okay, so the shopkeep is just like, okay, I gotta give her another lollipop. And goes over and picks one off from one of the higher shelves because it's just easy for him to reach and goes, here you go, kid. Stop crying.
I have to ask, did you finish the first lollipop yet?
No, I shoved it into my dress.
Okay, he just wants peace for a while and just Here.
No,
There
this
is
the
no
best part
peace.
because
There is only tiefling.
if you've had that lollipop at all before you put it in your dress, it's self-adhesive.
If you licked it first, yeah, it could be. Okay. All right, so
It's a lie.
Lie. There are only toddlers.
This is true in reality as well.
It is
okay.
true.
I have a 1-year-old nephew. Yes.
I used to work daycare with toddlers. Yes, you know. Okay,
Although
so
my nephew is adorable, and no one can tell me otherwise.
yeah.
That picture I posted is him licking a snowman.
Oh, how cute. That is very cute. Okay, so the we have to resolve if Ori found a hammer or not. So even as a success, odds is not a success. Oh no. That's an interesting gift right there.
The
What
cat is
do
wearing a
you
crown of shame. That is
have?
clearly revenge.
A knife.
No!
The cat in
The cat
the
in the gift
Elizabethan
with the
collar.
right, yeah. Okay,
The cat
so
has a
if
reason
you-
to want the knife. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway,
so
that's a 2. That's a success.
That's a success. So you have spotted that there is a hammer and it is on a shelf.
Oh, I'm going to have to climb up to it. Okay.
Okay. You can find a way if you can.
Toddlers find a way.
Toddlers find a way. Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yep. And at this moment, there's a loud knock on the door. Boom, boom, boom. And the shopkeep looks out the window and goes, "Hey, boss, Granny's here." And the boss goes, "Oh, that's great. She's here to pick up her order. Wonderful. This is going to be, oh my goodness, this may not go well at all." Looks at all the tieflings. "Well, let her in, let her in, let her in." So the shopkeep goes over,
I'll have you know I'm on my best behavior.
opens
I'm
the door.
still trying to push the trash can, but that's my best behavior.
That's your best behavior, then there you are. And a large dwarf with a glorious brown beard walks in, moves off to one side at the door. He's followed by another dwarf with a glorious beard, but this one's red instead of the first one being brown. And in between walks the most ancient dwarf you've ever seen, who just goes by Granny because she has many, many, many grandchildren at this point. And she is here to pick up her candy order so she can start giving that to all of her grandkids.
Oh,
Since we're-
excellent. I'm going to go try and make puppy eyes at her.
Okay. Well, at first she's looking right at the shopkeep and she says, "Mr. Cooper, I am here for my shipment of candy, and these are my helpers. This here is Olin, and he is my great, starts counting on her fingers, grandson. I have many. And this is Gimli, and that is Olin's husband. And they're going to help me carry those crates that I usually get right back out." And the shopkeep goes, "Oh, wonderful. Yeah, here, let's go. They're right in the back. Let me show you." And starts waving the dwarves forward. And the dwarves look at Granny, and she says something in Dwarvish. And they go, "Oh," and they start following along. The shopkeep to try to go into the back room where the crates are.
Uh-oh.
So while this is happening, I have not been paying attention at all, to be honest, which is a good thing because my character would probably want to pull the beards if he noticed them.
Okay.
So I've been trying to think of a way to make the trash can move faster because I'm a baby. Therefore, I have no patience.
Right.
So because I'm a Levistus tiefling, I have the racial ability of being able to cast Ray of Frost as a cantrip.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And I'm thinking
sure.
if the floor was icy, that would mean that things would be able to slide on it better. So I could
Got a
make the
point
floor
there.
be icy and push the trash can over the ice. The player is very much aware that feet have just as much traction on ice as trash cans do, but toddlers don't. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm imagining that if the DM allows, I have made the floor between the back door, the door to the back room, let's put it that way.
Yep.
And the trash can is a sheet of ice from repeated castings of Ray of Frost.
Okay. Yeah, I'll allow it. That's one of your abilities. You can do it.
Okay. May
Fine.
I roll a check
success or
to
failure?
see how well I am able to move things?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do the
Okay.
same process I've been doing. just now. So even is a success and odds is not a success.
Yeah, if this was a normal game,
It'd be very different. Yeah.
the question would be, okay, well, is it a strength check or a dexterity check? But all my stats are 10, except for charisma and constitution. So,
And I don't think you can charisma the floor.
Probably
well,
not.
not with that attitude.
Depends on if you wind up putting your face on it, I suppose.
Okay, so you rolled 1, which is an odd number, which means you probably didn't get a success on that.
No,
So
no, I
figure out
believe
how
you said
that's going
evens were
to-
successes.
Oh, did I?
So,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I did. Okay.
so this is a failure, and I'm going to say it's a spectacular failure because it's funny. Actually, may I roll again to see if the trash can stays upright?
Sure.
Okay.
That's a success. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the
That's a
trash
2.
can stays upright. I do not.
Oh.
Swoop.
You're now careening across the ice following the trash can, I would guess.
If that's
Depending
what
on-
you prefer, that's more progress than I was expecting, so it's still a win, even if I am in fact somewhat tobogganing.
You've become, yes, a toboggan or a hockey puck just sliding across the ice.
A hockey puck would be a more accurate description. It's
Okay.
think of it as free range sledding.
Sure.
This is
why
the
not?
trouble with free range toddlers. They range freely.
They do. Okay. So the shopkeep is walking the 2 dwarven husbands into the back room. And what does he see? What has Ori been up to? Or is up to at this moment back there?
I hate to bring this up, but the floor is a sheet of, and you just have to
Oh.
walk into the back room.
Okay, so the shopkeep is probably going to slip on that because he's used to just being on wooden floors. The dwarves, who, as you can see from their beards and their outfits, come from a cold area, they're probably used to handling ice, I would think. I can roll for them, I suppose, right?
DM's
That makes
prerogative.
sense.
Yeah.
You can also
I'll-
roll to figure out if they get fallen on.
That could be true too. Okay, so I'm going to roll a d20, and again, even is a success, and odds are a failure. And I'm going to do that for the shopkeep right now. He got a 9, so he has fallen right down in front of the door, blocking part of it with his body on the ground.
It's fun,
And-
isn't it?
Looks over at you, not knowing what on earth you just said to him, because he's speaking in infernal.
It's the most cheerful demonic language.
And that's why you're getting such a strange look. You know? So, and the 2 dwarves just kind of shrug and each grab an arm and try to pick up the shopkeep because they do need to get to those crates that's in the back room there, and they kind of like move him off to the side a bit, and inside just like kind of tuck him against the wall on the inside there, or maybe it's not ice, and then they just sort of carefully walk in.
To discover more toddler.
Discover another toddler. Yes.
Did not spray for toddlers.
Right. Exactly.
Now you're gonna have
I
to use a
think
fog bomb.
So I think we had left it at there was a hammer on a shelf, and that Ori was
Yes.
going to try to climb up there. So where is Ori at this moment?
So, I have decided the funniest thing that could happen is they open the door, Ori has reached the shelf.
Okay.
She lifts up the hammer, yells, "Hammer!" in common, goes to jump off the shelf toward the crates,
Okay.
and takes a step off the edge of the shelf.
Okay.
That is
And that's
how
what
one
the-
can get off the shelf.
That's what the one was.
That's what the one was. Okay. So we've got the shopkeep up against the wall near the door. We've got the 2 dwarves in this room. It's not a big room, and these are kind of sturdy-looking dwarves. So if you are in the act of jumping or leaping, the closest dwarf is going to attempt to catch you.
Okay.
Sort of in the act of falling.
Yeah, well, just out of instinct. And he got a 16, so he has caught you before you injure yourself. And he's talking to you in Dwarvish, so you don't know what he's saying, but it sounds very calming, and he's trying to, help you, move the hammer so you don't hurt yourself. And I think I'm going to say that this one is Gimli with the red beard.
Hammer!
And he's nodding his head, and he's talking to you in Dwarvish, and his eyes are just shining, and he turns to Olin and says something you don't understand either, because it's in Dwarvish. And Olin comes over and pats the child on the head and says some more words or Gimli comes over and which one I've gotten it confused now. Yeah, Olin and Gimli are now talking, and they both look really happy and very amused, and so they're going to one of them is going to kind of gently take the hammer from you and set you down, and
they want to be dads.
they do.
Oh,
So at this point,
Later,
Granny-
Chris, are you
Take
making
their
yourself
people.
adopted?
So, so at this point, they are more interested in Ori the Tiefling than they are in the crates they're supposed to get. And Granny's waiting patiently. And I think Penny was somewhere near Granny. Maybe not.
Yes, Penny
Okay.
was trying to puppy eyes Granny into buying her candy.
Oh, okay. So if you're close enough to her, because she doesn't walk very fast, if you're close enough to her, she's going to attempt to bend down and try to pick you up because you're small, you're a toddler, and she's picking. If you let her, she's going to pick you up.
Well, she's a dwarf. She doesn't have to bend down very far.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So she's just going to scoop you up and go. And what do you need? And she's smiling.
I did not hear at all what you said, so I'm going to assume that Penny also has no idea what she said.
That's fair. You know. We don't
Does
know
she
if Penny
have a
speaks
beard?
common. Does she have a beard? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She does have a small beard because she is ancient and has decided to stop worrying about it. So,
Penny is going to reach out and squish at the beard.
and Granny laughs. Oh, child, that's amusing.
This is how you demonstrate your +1 to charisma rolls.
Uh-huh.
And she walks you over towards the candy. She doesn't know how much you've had, obviously, or carrying. She just walks over to one of the shelves and goes, "Here, have one of these. I'll pay for it," and get you a little piece of chocolate from the top shelf.
Rules clarification.
Yes.
If the 1 pound of candy is in our bellies, does it still count? Because if so,
think
EO
technically
has come
not.
up with a way to win this game.
Oh no! No, I think the original concept was to each obtain a pound of candy and somehow get it out of the shop. But I've ruled
Yes.
that you can work together on that if you want. So, yeah. So I
If we
think
eat it, then it doesn't count anymore.
right.
Darn. Well,
I
I'm going to go
know.
back to pushing my trash can full of candy across a sheet of ice, which I've reached the end of the sheet of ice, apparently. So I'm going to extend it and
Oh, no.
continue towards whatever looks like might be an exit out of the back room.
Okay. So you start moving into the back room. Do we have to roll for you slipping on the ice again, or have you?
Probably.
For me to not roll would imply that I learned from previous failures.
Okay, so then go ahead and roll.
Great success!
It's a success. So you have managed to somehow figure out that if you hold tightly to the trash can and push, you kind of sail along with it.
I'm imagining that every 4 or 5 steps that I make is the equivalent of 1 normal step over non-icy terrain.
Sure.
This is double
work.
difficult terrain for me. but it's just the trash can is moving at a steady rate and my
Okay.
feet are moving in fast motion as I slowly slide. Exactly.
This is glorious.
Okay.
I am
so that's
also
what you're doing.
ambivalous of the beards,
Right. That's fine. You know?
which is probably the best result possible for the dwarves.
Possibly, yeah.
Got a point
Okay.
there.
So, at this point, the shopkeep is attempting to stand back up. Hopefully he's not, I don't know where you've put the ice, but he's going to stand up assuming that he could maybe sort of lean on the wall and not fall over this time. So I'm gonna roll for him again, to see how he does.
May be wrong.
He got an 11. He's slid back down the wall and is sitting on the ground, and he's just like, "This is fine. This is fine."
It's a
I'll
scene
just
from
go
Home
back."
Has he
Alone.
tried crying? That
He has
seems to
not yet
help
tried
me.
crying, but I'm sure if this keeps up, he may get there. You know?
If he does start crying, I might notice that and walk over and give him a lollipop out of the trash can.
Oh my gosh. Right now he's just trying to complete a sale, you know. So he's just kind of sitting there, and the two dwarven husbands are just enamored at, you know, there's another one, you know, and like talking to each other in language you don't understand, looking very happy and ignoring the crates at this point.
Ori points at the crates and says, "Candy?"
They don't speak common. They only
Oh,
speak
no.
Dwarvish. Only Granny speaks Dwarvish and common. She's been around a long time. She's had time to learn a second language. So, yeah. And so the dwarves are seeing you point at things and just think everything you do is adorable. And they have that kind of look on their faces.
Aww.
Yeah.
You have made an excellent reaction roll here.
All right. So, Granny's used to these two coming in, or at least some of her large, stout grandchildren, or great, whatever, grandchildren coming in and helping her with the crates. And it's taking a little longer this time. So she's going to kind of like slowly walk a little bit closer to the door, but not, she sees the ice. She's not going to stand on that. And she's going to call out in common, "Mr. Cooper, what's the problem?" Well, right now I'm on the floor because of the ice, and your helpers are talking in a language I don't understand. And Granny goes, "Oh, okay." So she starts talking in Dwarvish, and
There's a baby.
yeah, she's holding one, I think, right?
Yes,
And,
yes, I don't think she's put me down.
no, you're still she'll just carry this little one, and she's going kind of closer to the door, and the two dwarves turn around, and they're talking very rapidly and excitedly, and they're pointing at the tiefling in one of them's arms, and all this stuff, and the tiefling is pointing at the crates. Okay, so pointing at the crates and pointing at their mouth, like, "Candy, come on." And a conversation ensues that none of you understand, and Granny starts smiling. "Mr. Cooper, are these wee ones yours?" No. They just appeared. I don't know what happened. It's ruined my whole day. I don't know anymore. Starts like on the verge of tears, right?
Aww.
And she's so Granny kind of thinks for a minute and says, "Well, where they must have come from somewhere. Where did they come from?" And she's looking around, and
The other kids got told their parents all went to heaven. We were told not to repeat the word for where our parents went.
that's nice, dear.
Yeah.
Granny does not speak Infernal. Has no idea what you're saying. I hear you. Okay. You know? And she goes over and talks to the two dwarven helpers, and they're very excited and everything, and
Can
they're
we
not
keep this one?
and Granny's kind of, you know, looking at the toddlers that are in this room, and I think we're missing one. Where's Moo at this point?
Moo has a bag of candy and is sitting somewhere contemplating the wisdom of trying to eat some candy now or eat candy later after everyone else has candy so that she won't have to share it as much.
Ah, okay. That is a very toddler thing to be doing. Very good. Okay, so you are not in the back room? Or you are?
No, I don't think. No, she didn't go into the back room. That
Okay.
she's out, possibly wondering if she could get more money out of the cash register to give it back and get more candy.
That's also toddler, yes. Dead on.
On the other
Okay.
hand, that would mean climbing up again, and that was hard.
And there's ice. So
And there's ice.
There's
It
ice
might be
now.
just a sensible thing to stay right where she is
okay, that's fair.
for a change.
With the crying shopkeep, I do pull a piece of candy out of the top of the trash can. I'm aiming for a lollipop, but whatever my hand
Okay.
wraps around is fine. And I
Okay,
go
sure.
over and I hand it to the shopkeep. And then I go back to pushing the trash can.
Okay, and the shopkeep holds out his hand and is looking at 3 sticky gumballs and just looks at the kid And kind of just nods like, yes, this is how my life is now. You know?
I don't know why they're sticky, but it just seems right.
Well, some of them were on the floor, you know, so I mean, it could be.
Yeah, but the floor was dry before I turned it into a sheet of ice.
True.
But then
But if
again,
they were in the trash can sticky, then they're still sticky.
yeah. Also, they've been within 5 feet of a toddler since we came into the shop.
True. So
The toddler might have
sticky.
varied, but they've all been within 5 feet of a toddler since then. So I imagine that everything that stays that close to a toddler for that length of time does become sticky just through osmosis.
It's possible. It is possible.
It's like
Okay.
an aura.
An aura, an aura of sticky.
Aura of
somehow.
stickitude.
By the way,
Yes.
have I reached a back door, or am I just like pushing this against a wall now?
You have reached the back of the room. There is a wall. There is no back door, which is why the crates had to be built inside it.
Well, I'm going to roll to see if I'm deterred by this.
Okay.
Because I'm of two minds, so I might as well roll to see even or odd.
Fair.
Okay, well, with a 1, I am very upset that there is no actual back door.
Right.
So I'm going
There's
to sit down and
supposed
start
to be.
crying. Well, I'm going to sit down, look around to see if anyone's looking at me, and then start crying.
Smart.
It doesn't
Clever.
make a point if no one's looking at me.
Right, right. And the shopkeep kind of carefully gets up and hands you back the sticky gumballs.
I
Airhead.
eat one of them and put the other 2 in the trash can for later.
Okay. Sure. So Granny's now, with assuming that the shopkeep has recovered from his crying, and asks, "Mr. Cooper, do any of these children speak language I would know, either Common or Dwarven? Do you know?"
Yeah.
I tell them, we speak common, but I say that in Infernal.
Okay, good to know. Nods her head. Good
Hi.
job. You speak Common. Excellent. Where did you come from before you got here today?
Outside.
If you're still speaking in Infernal, Granny's just going to nod and smile.
Yes, I am speaking in Infernal unless I say otherwise.
Okay, so she's just going to nod at you.
I know.
Acknowledge. Don't know?
Doorstep.
Doorstep. Okay, this is a clue. Doorstep.
Hatched from Moo.
Hatched. Okay.
Well, that's where she
Sure.
came from. Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
She doesn't know.
She's not sure.
Okay.
Candy.
Yes, I see you have a bag of candy with you. You've done well, child. You've done well.
Nod, nod, nod.
I've turned the trash can around and I'm starting to push it towards the back door, to the door to the back room.
Okay.
It took a while to turn the trash can around. I know I didn't need to turn it around, but my toddler did not.
Of course. That's what they would do, is turn it around. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
I may have turned it around more than once.
All right. That's good.
Especially if it's on ice. Whee! Spit
Toddlers
out.
on Ice, the new Disney hit.
Oh no. Okay, so Granny
It's
looks
just
over.
5 kids on the ice crying because they fell down again.
Aw.
People are like, we
All right,
paid
so-
$20 for this?
Yeah. All right. So Granny looks over and sees that there are, there's 2 toddlers in the back room there, and one is pushing a trash can and doesn't appear to speak Common. And there's one in the arms of one of these dwarves she brought with her. And so she asks the one that's being held by dwarves, "Do you understand Common?" I guess not.
Long silence from Ellie.
Ellie love you there.
I accidentally muted myself.
Oh, okay. So she
Oh,
asks.
no.
She asks the tiefling being held by held by Gimli, who has the red beard, and says, "Do you understand Common, child?"
Yeah?
Good. Where did you and your friends come from before you got into the candy shop today?
Orphanage.
Orphanage.
It's where they keep the orphs.
We're tieflings, not orcs.
She nods and smiles at the one pushing the trash can, not knowing what he said.
Not to be confused with an orphanage, which is where you keep orcs.
Okay.
They're not the same thing?
Orphage. Orphage.
Lots of kids, bunch of moms.
Maybe a
Orph-
dad or two.
Orphanage? Is that the word?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. So none of you have parents?
What's a parent?
Bunch of moms.
Bunch of moms. Okay.
Candy. Candy is in common.
Candy is in common. Yes, you have lots right there. Hold on a minute, dear. She talks to her helpers in Dwarvish, and they get very excited, and they're pointing at the different tieflings and trying to figure things out. And Granny
They want
nods
to
her
adopt
head.
us.
Yes. Granny nods her head.
I refuse to be adopted if I don't get to keep the candy.
Okay.
Yeah, but crates of it. Crates of it.
So, okay.
Yes,
much
but
so
those
she-
are hypothetical crates, and this trash can of candy is mine.
Right. Okay. So Granny turns to the shopkeep, Mr. Cooper, and says, "Okay, well, I think I can solve one of your problems. These two here are newlyweds. They've only been married about 20 years, and so they wanted to start a family for a very long time. And as you can see, they can't do that on their own. So, if you don't mind, I think I will go over to the orphanage and officially make sure these two can adopt these children. Is that all right with you?" "Yes, yes, yes, take them." All right, then. So, first, we're going to have to move these crates into the wagon we brought to get here. And I'll just walk over with, well,
I mean, it's darned
Oh,
easy to
what
move the
do you-
crates now. I made the whole floor slippery.
yes.
You can shove them.
I'm a helper.
Your helper. Okay, so she kind of relays to the dwarves, what she just said in common that they don't understand, and they start nodding. And she points at the door, and they're going to kind of carefully move the crates out.
They have to
Possibly
get in line
still
behind me. I'm
carrying-
still making my way towards the door.
Oh.
Are they
Okay.
pushing the crates or carrying them?
They typically carry them, but if the floor is icy, it might be better to push. So I think they're going to choose
Okay.
that option.
I
I'm
will
gonna
Always
make
set a
up the crate.
tiefling on the crate.
Right, you're going to ride on top of the
And
crate,
push.
Ori, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Sleigh
you
ride.
get set on top of the crate, and the crates are very gently being pushed along the icy floor. Through
I will make the path of ice a bit wider to accommodate the crates.
Okay.
I do want to be helpful.
All right. Well, the dwarves accept because they're used to walking in icy conditions, so they know what to do, and they start pushing the crates out the door.
I want a crate ride too. I want a crate ride too. Run over, clutching bag of candy, and start trying to climb up one of the crates.
Okay, so you've got the crate that Olin is pushing, with the one with the brown beard, and he just scoops you up and sits you on top. Candy and all.
Yay! Crate ride,
Okay.
crate ride.
All right, so they're going to go and put the crates into the trailer, or the cart that's got like a couple of horses on the front. Children and all. And you go, right?
I
And that
have
leaves...
an additional clarifying question.
Yes.
Is the front door level with the street, or is there a step?
There's a small, sort of like concrete little platform in front of the door.
Is it handicap accessible, or is there going to be an issue with a trash can that I'm just pushing out the door?
It's just the smallest of stoops. It's like about 2 inches high. And
Yeah,
wide
that
enough
might be
to
too
accommodate
much.
the door.
I'm going to make a roll.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, it's a simple candy shop. They're not, they don't have a lot of means, but they have candy. Anyway, go on.
I love that I get to be the player in this game. Thank you,
Yes.
Jen, so much. I get to
Oh,
be the
you're
player.
welcome.
And I am doing my best to sabotage myself for the entire thing.
It's your choice. It's your
Toddler.
character. Toddler.
Yes, toddler. That's a one. That trash
Okay.
can is now very easy to push because it has lost all of its ballast on the city street.
Oh.
On the street. Oh, no. And how do you react to this?
I'm going to look and see if anyone's noticed.
Okay.
Has anyone noticed?
Well, the two dwarves have just now gotten both the crates into the back of the wagon, and presumably 2 baby tieflings are still sitting on the crates, and they are talking to the baby tieflings and just looking at them like they're so adorable. They haven't seen you.
Okay, so no one's noticed that I spilled all of my candy, so I'm not going to cry. I am instead going to righten the trash can and start picking the candy off of the city street putting it into the trash can so I can take it with me.
Okay. That's fair. You can do that. I don't know how long it'll take you, but you can do it.
Until someone stops me, most likely. Because that's a more likely scenario than me managing to pick up all of it. Some of those were gumballs, and I don't think the street's going to be level.
Oh, they're going to roll.
There are already some that are halfway across town by now, I'm certain.
Oh my gosh. One of the horses bends down and eats a gumball.
There are horses blowing bubbles of gum.
Yes.
Oops.
Yep. Okay, so we've got 2 tieflings in the back of the cart with the crates full of candy. And we have 1 tiefling that Granny is holding inside the shop, and we have 1 tiefling on the street picking up the gumballs. Does that sound right?
Gumballs, lollipops,
Tidy.
taffy, whatever was on that bottom shelf
Okay. Mhm.
is now on a much lower shelf that's a lot wider than the other shelves.
Okay. All right. So there's that. So Granny's going to pull a bag of gold out of her pocket and hand it to the shopkeep. And she says, "Okay, well, I've received my order. I know it's always been correct before, so I'm sure it'll be correct now. I'm going to add a few more. I'm going to buy like 3 of those jars of candy at the top there and bring that with. Maybe 4. 4 might be good. And for these little orphans that probably haven't had much of a life until now. So, here,
Indeed.
I'll send one of the boys to come pick this up, and then, here's some more. Here's some more gold. That should cover it. And there you are. And the shopkeep is still just sitting on the floor, like kind of dazed about this day. And so the helper goes over and runs the register instead.
Understandable.
Oh, no.
I remember when I was younger, I had so much candy. Cherish what you have when you have it. Don't be like me.
Oh.
Here's a lollipop.
When you were
that was in-
younger, like 3 minutes ago.
I mean, if you just look at my life as a timeline from birth until now, that's a sizable percentage of my waking hours, yes.
I mean, valid.
Valid. Yeah, that works.
True enough. True enough.
Don't be sad. We're not going to be Tiefs anymore. We're going to be 4 adopteds.
Okay, so the shopkeep tallies up the order and has like a paper saying exactly what's in it, checks it all off, and adds the 4 jars of candy from the top shelf onto that and sets them aside. And do you want your receipt? Oh no, dear, I never take that. Okay, goes to throw it in the trash, lands on the floor. Goes and
There's a lot of ice in here.
goes and gets the broom, and I was like, just throws it. Like, she may
lot
have a
of
little more
ice.
dexterity than the shopkeep did. But
A lot of ice and not a lot of trash can.
yes, not a lot of trash
No.
can. And she's just like, okay, well, thanks.
Well, how long would that have stayed frozen? It's possible by now it's just damp. You better take care of that.
It may
before
be
it's
melted.
gonna
It might
set in.
be. It might be, but the shopkeep has the helper has decided that this is not her problem right now, so she's just going to
Fair and valid.
just finish off the sale and off you go. Okay, so Granny has Penny in her arms, and she goes out towards the cart, and she tells the dwarves that there are 4 more jars of candy for them to go pick up, and one of them goes in and goes to get it, comes back out, and she looks down and sees another tiefling, and goes, "Okay, child, come along." Holds out her hand.
I give her a gumball.
Pat you on the head.
It's very sticky. She doesn't need to wrap her fingers around it for it to stay in
It's
her hand.
sticky. She's aware. Yes, she has many grandchildren. She's
There
very used to
may
all
have
of
been
this.
some resistance when I pulled my hand away.
Oh dear. All right. Would you like to come with us?
Do I get to take the trash can with me?
I don't know what you said, hun, but okay.
I nod and put the trash can in the back of the cart. I imagine by now there's probably only like 5 or 6 pieces of candy in the bottom of the trash can because I didn't
Might
say I was
be.
efficient with picking up candy.
So, okay, so the dwarf that went into the shop to get the jars that Granny had ordered as an extra, is now standing behind Granny, but in the cart is the other dwarf who's like making sure that the crates are fitting in properly and won't, unbalance the cart, and he'll figure out where to put the tieflings to keep them safe in a minute. Looks down and sees a trash can coming up, reaches out a hand, picks it up, puts it in the cart. It puts it in the back of the cart. Are you still hanging on to the trash can?
That's an excellent question. If I had different stats, I might consider trying to make a wisdom or intelligence roll to know if I should let go.
Mm-hmm. So roll for a success or failure, I suppose. And we'll figure out which one that means.
So I figured that the dwarf was helping me by moving the trash can into the cart, so I do let go.
Okay.
There is, again, probably some resistance, but I weigh more than my hands are sticky. So,
okay.
so that's not an issue.
That's a great out of context quote. I weigh more than my hands are sticky.
Yeah, I better type that in very quickly.
Type that in
before I forget.
somewhere.
Or somebody else do that and I'll boost it. But as soon as I have delivered the trash can into the cart, I go to pick up more candy off of the ground because the trash can isn't full yet.
Okay.
I'm going to continue doing this until there's no more candy in sight or somebody stops me by putting me in the cart.
Okay, so the dwarf that went to pick up the trash can that was coming in looks down and sees no baby tiefling behind it and is rather confused for a moment until he sees where you've gone. Out of his reach, right? And then the one that's got 4 large jars of candy just goes over and scoops you up and says something to you in Dwarvish and smiles and sticks you on the cart, passes
I
over
say
to
something
his
back
partner.
in Infernal and smile.
And the dwarf giggles and pats you on the head and hands you to his partner, who puts you in the cart.
Aww.
Yeah.
In 20 years, an eye blink of time, they're going to be fluent in Infernal. I'm going to be fluent in Dwarvish, but we're never going to stop speaking our original languages.
Of course, yes.
That seems about right.
I mean, in reality, I've had conversations with people where I'm speaking English and they're speaking something other than English, but we're understanding,
Mm-hmm.
Usually early mornings of teaching when we haven't quite shifted yet, but yeah, it can happen. That can happen.
They're not necessarily speaking a non-English language. They're just not speaking English.
Yeah.
Before coffee? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, Jen and I have both done teaching.
Mm-hmm. It just happens, Okay, so Granny's carefully making her way to the cart, and she's still carrying Penny, and the other dwarf has gotten onto the front of the cart where, in order to guide the horses. So one of them, I think, the one that got the jars of candy has stowed them in the back of the cart and is going up to the front so he can, guide the horses back to where she wants to go, or at least move it closer to the orphanage to, adopt. And the one of the grandchild, great grandchild of Granny, carefully lifts her into the back of the cart so she can have a seat with these little ones. And so all of that is now set. The worker is at the window, just kind of waving, okay, bye.
Wave.
Bye.
I do a head count to make sure we're all here, but I don't think I can count that high. Because there were 4 of us.
There was 4, so Granny's going to look around.
Moo
and make
waves.
Sure.
Wave.
Right,
I
Moo's
count
on
Moo
one
3
of the
times
crates.
because Moo keeps getting my attention by waving.
Okay, yeah, so Moo and Ori were on the crates. Granny carried Penny in, and Granny's great grandson has pulled in Levi. So they're all on the crates and in the cart and carefully placed so that they won't fall out the back or anything like that. There is a back
They
that
probably
comes up.
lift up the back, yeah.
Yeah, they can just
I'm
lift up the
probably
back
in the
and it's
trash
fine.
can, let's be honest.
That's fine.
I
Granny's
tried
used
to get
little
some candy,
kids.
I fell in head first.
Yeah,
I'm just there now.
No one was looking.
The candy's right there, right in front of my face, so, I'm happy until I'm run out.
Okay, so they start moving, questioning why the horses are blowing bubbles, and start the cart going nice and slow so that everybody's comfortable. They get to where the orphanage is, and they help Granny back out of the orphanage. And she goes over into the orphanage and talks to someone there, and tries to set up an adoption, and comes back with someone who works at the orphanage to actually see the parents, right? So
I hand them half a gumball.
hand them half a gumball.
Well,
A
the other half
stinky
I'm
one, no
chewing
doubt.
on right now.
And the worker that's like kind of like does all the clerical work type thing at the orphanage is trying to shake the gumball off of her hand for a little while and is a bit distracted for a second, and then says, "Okay, so who's the parents here? Where?" And the granny says something, and the two very happy dwarven husbands come over and smile really big and start talking in dwarvish rapidly and pointing at the kids and just look like they're just so they think the kids are adorable. You can tell from their faces, and so the clerk just kind of goes, "Okay, right, so."
Kids who got out without anyone noticing.
Yeah, it's like right, okay. So they work out a system where the clerk tells Granny something like, "Okay, so they need to fill this out, and then that'll be fine. They can take all four of these. They look like they're doing well." And they've probably seen Granny around because she has a lot of grandkids and comes in and out of the nearby candy shop, every so often. So. So they're trusting her to translate everything, and then the dwarves sign their names and hand back the paper and the quill, and the shopkeep looks it over or not the shopkeep, the clerical worker from the orphanage looks it over and checks off everything and says, "Okay, you're set. Thanks." Folds up the paper, walks back in.
Please take them.
You are now adopted baby tieflings to two father dwarves.
And did
But
we
most
get our 5 pounds of
importantly,
candy?
We have 5 crates of candy. What are you talking about?
You have 2 crates of candy, and now you are
That's true.
you are now considered by Granny to be more of her great grandchildren. So you will be receiving candy as often as the rest.
Oh no, it's
This
5
sounds-
I'm
crates.
gonna take
1,
out
5.
a
I
lollipop
counted.
from my dress and stick it in my mouth.
And Granny laughs at you and pats you on the head.
Oh.
I will share some of my
candy.
candy with Granny, and it is not sticky because it was in a bag.
Oh,
I have non-sticky candy. My candy is
Awesome.
superior.
It's non-stick candy. Coated in Teflon. It's good for you.
oh my gosh.
And share it with new dads, too.
Yes, they will happily take a piece of candy from a sharing toddler because that's just so adorable. And that's
No.
I
They have-
lament their beards.
They have
don't-
amazing
they don't
beards, though, right now, don't they?
mind. They do. Mm-hmm.
Moo could sleep in one. Moo could just curl
I
up.
was thinking the same thing.
Isn't it good that there's 2
Those
of
are
them?
blankets and beds all rolled into one
Right. Yeah.
wonderful
Well, one of them.
collection of hairs that you can also tug on whenever you want.
Right, and it won't bother them at all. So one of them is in the. I'm going to say that Granny's great grandson is in the back of the cart, and the husband of that one is guiding the horses slowly home. And that's probably the end of this little one shot. Unless anybody's got anything else to do. So hope you had fun.
Yes, thank you.
We're adopted. Thank
Yes,
you.
adopted baby tieflings. There you go. So,
You know, we're 4 adopteds.
4 adopted. Okay. Right.
Adopted,
So-
2 adopted, 3 adopted, and 4 adopted. Yep.
Right. So if the tieflings are now saying 4
That's-
adopted, 4 adopted, then the dwarves are going to assume that is how you say adopted in common. So they're using
Oh,
4
no.
adopted now. You know?
We could
Close
teach
enough.
them so many more words.
Yes.
Oh no!
You realize, of course, Crash, that someday it might be hilarious to have the all-tiefling party raised by dwarves.
Oh my gosh, that would be
They
wonderful.
can grow up.
Yeah,
I mean, right now the Kobold campaign is only every other Saturday.
it is. Mm-hmm. You can still do it. Okay, so that's the end of this one. I'm Jen, who DM'd for the first time with this one-off, and I've got some wonderful players here, including Archbeth, Crash, Ellie, and EO. Do any of you want to promote something or boost something?
Eo's mom,
Eo's mom writes books.
including, I would like to point out some short stories that do in fact involve little non-human kids solving problems that include crates.
Excellent.
It's true.
It's
Excellent.
true. That is one of the that's the best revenge. It's a short story. It's 99 cents on any ebook place that you can find. And it's
Excellent.
cute.
It does
Sorry
sound
about
very cute. It sounds like it would fit right into what we've just been doing.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Crash does stuff.
I mean, I do have a small podcast I do with my friends at aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel.
Yes.
If you want to listen to that, it's kind of neat. And we support it with a Patreon, so that'd be kind of cool if you wanted to go to patreon.com/cogwheel and help us keep the lights on. You could join other patrons if you do that, like Chris, Ellie, Eric, Janatalock, Mickey, Shen, Walter, and Patreon Emeritus Cindy. That'd be really cool if you did that. But this is not a big deal. Really, the big deal is this weekly event that Jen's going to be doing with this podcast. That I'm making that up because this is a one shot. But Jen, you were fantastic as a DM. Thank you for doing this for us.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
I
thank you.
figured it would be fun. I wanted to give you, Crash, an opportunity to play instead of only
Yes!
DMing. So, I thought, well, this would work really well. And at the time I was thinking about it, we didn't have anything planned, and I just wanted something goofy. So this is what it came out to be.
We're delightfully goofy. Possibly goopy, too.
Well,
I mean,
toddlers,
no.
toddlers.
awful.
Yeah.
Toddlers get goopy.
Anybody else want to promote something or no?
Really?
Not today, thank you.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, so I have a website called Book of Jen, which has a variety of gaming stuff and writing and all that kind of thing at bookofjen.net. I'm also the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast, which is mostly about Diablo 3, but also about things going on with Activision Blizzard, and that's at shatteredsoulstone.com. And I think we're done.
Yeah.
So until next time,
Thank you
this is
for
Jen
running.
saying.
Go ahead. Finish that thought, sure.
They say something nice to you in Dwarvish.
Yes. And pat you on the head.
I'm just
I like
looking
that.
forward to the first time they take us to the temple.
Oh.
And I spent the whole time through the service speaking infernal and pulling on beards. Good night,
Why
everybody.
pull on beards when you can just sleep in them? Night.
Good night.
You can do both. You can do both.
Yes.
Mmm.